Good evening. My name is Zachary, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Sound of Silent Voices. As a music educator, one of the things that I love to do most is to work with student ensembles. Music ensembles are a unique way for showing young students the power of coming together for a common purpose. With that in mind, and with a little patience from you, I'd like to lead you in a little ensemble exercise. So if you could please join me in taking out everyone's most prized instrument. And on the count of 3, if you could turn them off. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. A few years ago, I was doing some research in the New York University Library, and I happened upon the book, I Never Saw Another Butterfly. I Never Saw Another Butterfly is a collection of poems and artwork created by children in Theresienstadt, a Nazi concentration camp. Approximately 15,000 children were sent to Theresienstadt, and only about 100 of these children survived. Just so you see here the pictures on the screen, these are the slideshow of pictures from what Theresienstadt looks like today. We're grateful to Frank Spitzer for providing these photographs. I sat down and read the book. My first thought was, how incredible is it that children in these circumstances managed to create such moving and beautiful art and poetry? Imagine what they would have come up with in the best of circumstances. The tragedy of these silenced voices weighed heavily on me. As an educator, I wondered what we could do for these children to keep their voices alive. In that moment, I had an incredible idea. Let's take this poetry written by children during the Holocaust and have contemporary music students compose musical works based on that poetry. I reached out to students and colleagues looking for young composers who might be interested in this project, and it was extremely challenging. We had to find children that were both skilled enough in composition and also mature enough to deal with such a difficult subject matter. In my first attempts, I actually failed. I couldn't collect enough composers to get the project off the ground. But then 3 years later, we finally got things started, and I feel very fortunate to be able to work with the 14 extraordinary composers whose work you will hear tonight. The composers range in age from 10 to 20, which coincidentally is the approximate age range of the authors of the poetry. As with any atrocity that involves mass loss of life, keeping the memory of the Holocaust alive is a global task that affects all of us, irrespective of race, religion, or ethnicity. We are very fortunate to have a group of composers from a wide variety of backgrounds who each bring a unique perspective to this project. Last spring, I asked the composers to choose a poem from the book I Never Saw Another Butterfly. And based on their chosen poem, they were to compose a piece for string quartet or string trio. The composers had only 3 months to complete their piece before our first performance. For those of you in the music world, you understand that that's a little bit tight. I was very nervous about this. When I've commissioned pieces from professional composers, none of them have ever finished in 3 months. Usually 3 months after the deadline is pretty good. However, when the students started sending me samples of their work, I was absolutely blown away. Their pieces were mature and masterful beyond their years. In many cases, the composer's ability to revive the emotions of the poetry's authors brought me to tears. Victor Hugo, the renowned French writer and advocate for the less fortunate, once wrote, "Music expresses that which cannot be put into words, and that which cannot remain silent." I'll read that again for you. Music expresses that which cannot be put into words, and that which cannot remain silent. What can we possibly say about 15,000 children murdered? What can we say about 15,000 young souls silenced at the hands of the Nazis? What can we say about the strength of the human spirit these children demonstrated by writing poetry under these circumstances? While we may not be able to find the words, tonight, through music, we will not remain silent. We are extraordinarily fortunate to have with us tonight Mr. Gershom Willinger, one of the youngest children to be liberated from Theresienstadt, the very same camp where this poetry was written. For tonight's concert, Mr. Willinger will read each poem before the piece is performed by the Tambo String Quartet. In some cases, the composers will take a moment to speak before their poem is read. You may also notice from your programs that many of our composers come from out of town, and unfortunately not all of them could be with us today. So a few of the composers from out of town have sent me some video footage, so you'll be able to hear them speak as well. We're also very honored to have with us today Rabbi Ebin, who will address the audience about halfway through the program. Thank you all for coming, and I would now like to call upon Thomas Mitchinson, our first composer, to say a few words about his piece.